Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother. Mainstream media. Government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
All right, we are back live. We did confirm that military was down there, black berets, the whole 9 yards, a clear Homeland Security helicopter / Army, dark green, almost black flying around. We'll roll some more of that. It's Army unless the APD is now getting military helicopters, which we have seen some of those programs. But you guys did repeatedly see Army driving around in cars when the rest of campus was shut down and leaving. You got some footage of this and actually followed them, Matt Ryan. We're going to get that video and tag it on to this report. But you guys just got back, so you're getting that footage right now. Tell us what you saw.
Right. As we showed up, Jason spotted a military in beret, full fatigues, in a car driving right by our staging area. We thought, okay, well, nothing of it. It's a military guy, just happened to be driving by. But as we were leaving, going from the staging area, the secured staging area they only let press into, was a full fatigue, boots, everything, camouflage hat, soldier, I guess the best description, leaving the staging area, going to a nearby gas station, getting a whole bunch of water, I guess, for whoever he's working with.
So he was definitely part of it because he's bringing them water. What is the Army doing at the University of Texas? Well, they're part of infrastructure protection. This has all been a secret, covert program now out in the open.
Right, and one thing that was a little bit strange, we got our cameras out immediately. We wanted to get some footage of this so that we could definitely report it to our readers at InfoWars. And as soon as we started getting footage of him, he went into a car that was parked around the corner into the staging area, peeled out, went through the middle of the gas station nearby, and sped away as quickly as he could. Probably because he noticed that we were following him with cameras.
Well, I'll tell you what else is going on. Guys, search for listeners right now. Marines at Alabama shooting. And then later there was an investigation. And then search the term Marines at checkpoints in California, DUI checkpoints. This is totally illegal. Army, Marines, all of it. But it's going on behind the scenes. But then the Army Times comes out a year ago or 2 years ago now and admits they want 387,000 troops on the streets of the United States. So just every major event now, they're there. They're at the Super Bowl. They're at the Kentucky Derby, conditioning us to accept it. And I go back 12 years ago catching Army checkpoints on I-35 searching cars, and they would cover their faces up there because they know what they're doing is illegal, but they're just setting the precedent to do it.
Right, and we had to show press credentials to get back into that area. We had to go through a checkpoint. We got checked out by not one but two different officers, state troopers on the scene, before we could get into the area that soldier was coming from. So one way or another, there was a guy, full green camouflage fatigues, at the scene in an area that was secured for press only.
All right, we're going to get this video from the live show, last segment, and this put together and up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com as soon as possible. But this whole thing looks like some type of government Homeland Security drill gone wrong or something. I mean, it's the date that they're going to have John Lott there, openly calling for concealed carry on campuses. It's a national movement gaining steam, and this happens, and now their event is canceled. We got a call from Brave New Books. They're not sure yet, but they're down on the edge of campus. I know they're friends with a lot of the campus groups, saying John Lott may be there tonight instead. You know that's going to be a circus with media. So definitely get down there early if that is the case tonight, or whoever can do it from our crew. But thank you, Matt Ryan, for going down there and the excellent reporting.
Thank you.
All right, good job to Matt Ryan and Jason Douglas on that front. We've got a guest dealing with the RAND Corporation and shadow government, who's one of the only people to ever be allowed full access to their archives. We'll understand who's behind the scenes setting up the world we live in, setting the standards, setting the agenda, charting the course, the map makers of our society. That is coming up. We'll continue to report on this as it develops and unfolds. Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to keep the lines open for whistleblowers who did see the second gunman shooting, as reported by News Radio 590 KLBJ. Stay with us. Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. You've heard me talk about Cal-Ben 5-star soaps for years. This is an American-made product of the highest quality and compares to nothing you will find in stores. You can buy factory direct, shipped via UPS right to your door. Check them out on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091. Take my word for it. Once you've used pure soap, you won't buy anything else. Since 1947, Cal-Ben Soap Company has been showing consumers that soap can be tough on dirt and gentle on the environment. Buy American and stay clean, as well as support InfoWars. Visit 5starsoap.com today or call 1-800-340-7091. Well, Marty, what do you have to say?
As founder and owner for over 63 years, satisfaction is guaranteed or double your dirt back. Call us at 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog or visit our website, 5starsoap.com. Thank you.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, it seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv. Listen up, friends. This is Alex Jones with key information. The mainstream media is now admitting that we're going into a depression. Don't be dependent on the government for you and your family. You need to get your own supply of high-quality storable foods from eFoodsDirect.com. They're the best company out there, the longest continually operating, with a ton of great food to choose from. It's all fresh, made on a monthly basis, not some old cruddy food they're selling you like some of the other guys. Try their new Evacuation Pack, a 2-week supply of delicious, easy-to-fix food. It comes with all the equipment you need to prepare it. With open talk of a strike on Iran in the next 3 months, the crisis in the Gulf, and possible evacuations, get yourself and your family ready today. The place to go is eFoodsDirect.com. Go to their website online right now, eFoodsDirect.com/Alex, or call 800-409-5633. Again, on the web, eFoodsDirect.com/Alex, or give them a call at 800-409-5633.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Well, I guess the city of Austin now has been getting Army surplus helicopters. I guess they've got black helicopters now because we ran the tail number. Normally a black op helicopter will not have numbers, and it is an Austin Police Department helicopter. But we have confirmed that the Army, U.S. Army, was down there working the scene. We have that footage. We're going to put a report together and take this addendum and add it to the earlier information that we covered. We'll post it up at YouTube in the next few hours and post it at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. But what is the Army doing and the Marines at other shootings? What are they doing at these events in violation of the 1878 law, Posse Comitatus? The Pentagon now admits they want over 300,000 troops permanently deployed for, quote, homeland defense to respond to all crimes, you name it. We literally are turning in to something like Russia or East Germany or Nazi Germany before it. Now, for the rest of the hour, we are honored to have Alex Abella on the radio broadcast with us. He's a New York Times notable book author, Emmy-nominated TV reporter, and screenwriter. Alex Abella is the author of Soldiers of Reason, The Rand Corporation, The American Empire, a study of the world's most influential think tank, published by Harcourt. Alex was the first journalist to have full access to Rand's files in Santa Monica, California, and they did not like the response that they got when the book came out. They did not like the results. Abella's nonfiction work includes Shadow Enemies, a nonfiction account of a plot by Adolf Hitler. I've read about this, to start a wave of terror and destruction in the United States. Born in Cuba, Alex migrated with his family to the United States when he was age 10. And we really appreciate this accomplished researcher and writer and news reporter for joining us. AlexAbella.com is his website. Alex, good to have you here with us today.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure. I was listening to your reports before. It's really scary what's going on.
Very suspicious, these shootings happening every time universities try to say that students can have concealed carry, and when they were having a prominent concealed carry person speaking at the law school tonight.
Amazing, amazing. You know, it's just like another step into, you know, the consolidation of the military-industrial complex, which is, you know, what came out of RAND. I mean, this is like, my book, it deals with the birthplace of the military-industrial complex. And it's funny, too, that in a way it took a former General Eisenhower to warn us against this, and, you know, and yet, you know, here we are, all these years later.
Well, for those that don't know, when you watch a movie like Dr. Strangelove made by Stanley Kubrick, they call it the Bland Corporation, has a report where they talk about we can nuke Russia and only lose 10 to 20 million Americans. That's really based, from my research, but I want you, who knows far more than I, on real reports put out by RAND and some of these shadowy figures that started it. You've got the floor. Break down the history of RAND and why it's so important.
Well, I think, you know, RAND is important for a number of reasons. I mean, dating back, it's the most influential think tank in America, if not in the world. It shaped our policy of nuclear deterrence. It came up with the concept of counterinsurgency, laid the foundation for the Internet, was harbored game theory, came up with something called systems analysis, which revolutionized the U.S. government. But above all, the main thing that it's really, really, really important, which is something that perhaps I should have emphasized even more in the book, but it's very clear there. They came up with a foundation for the wave of financial disasters that we find ourselves in, something called rational choice theory, which was developed by a Nobel Prize winner named Kenneth Arrow, who came up with something called Arrow's stratagem, which in a way went against the precepts of Marxism, and yet turned loose this whole wave of deregulation, of people just thinking that, you know, they're only in it for themselves, and like overturn all the concepts on which this country had been based on. That, I think, is their major contribution to, unfortunately, to our national fabric.
When you say it's the most influential think tank in the United States and probably the world, that is not an exaggeration. In fact, it may even be an understatement. From my research, Stanley Kubrick was obsessed with the RAND Corporation, got a lot of the material for several of his films from it, because he realized that they were charting so much of our technological development and sat at the top of the capstone for the scientific and technological elite that Eisenhower talked about in his speech that were controlling the military-industrial complex. Eisenhower quotes about military-industrial complex being dangerous. You know, those are well known, but the rest of his farewell address gets into the scientific technological elite that was taking over the system, because he was reading their reports. He was seeing what they had to say. Let's start at the beginning. Why did you want to look at RAND Corporation? How were you able to get in to see their internal annals when no one else had been able to do it? And let's walk through all the different things that they developed, including, didn't they develop the idea for mid-air refueling?
Yes, absolutely. And also the idea of second nuclear strike deterrence. And that came out of something called a basing study, which highlighted the weaknesses in our national defense system against a surprise strike by the Russians. Of course, never mind that the Russians, you know, didn't have enough weapons to really do all this, but in any case, had they been able to, they would have been able to.
And not to mention, of course, they helped develop the current COG plan that Northcom uses to militarize and take over our entire society by building a second secretive government.
Well, you know, I think you got a point right there. From the very beginning, you know, RAND has been involved with people who have wanted to create an alternative, a secret government. I mean, I mean, for crying out loud, it's like one of the major givers of funds, the people who funded the organization, was the Ford Foundation. And